Welcome back to my kitchen. Now I'm going to show you how to cut different things in different ways. These are the things that we're going to have done in the end. We have brunoise, something I learned in the kitchen, and we have julienne. These two are something you will learn in any cooking kitchen, and this is something I learned from the restaurant itself. So, first we have onions, right? As you've seen, we're making a brunoise with this. The important part is that this will be cut off. Do it generously. This shall only be cut off very, very sparsely. You'll find out why later. Always keep your working place very clean. Now, make a little cut and use it to peel your onion. Don't be scared that you might waste a bit of the onion. You might, but if it's about having clean food, which is important, then you'll appreciate it. The background noise is to be explained because I'm working in the restaurant I'm going to do my apprenticeship in. They allowed me to turn the videos in here. Cut the onion in half. Now, put one aside and look for the back part. Be very careful about this, because knives are extremely dangerous, and if not known how to use them, can be, well, extremely dangerous. Do not cut all the way through. And always do the same size. Now, again, be very careful. Cut it like this. If something falls out, that's not bad. That's not that bad. Be very careful about this, since if you have a knife like mine, it's going to be extremely sharp. If something falls off, it might not look that nice, but just put it in a little bowl and, old school style, use it as soup. Now, to make the julienne, cut. I'm moving my body because like this the onion has no long cuts. Until you reach the part where this happens, soup. You have this back part, which also can be used as soup for later. You've probably always seen this. You've probably always seen this on TV shows or on a cooking show for like a kid or something. By the way, don't do this. That they take the front part, the cutting edge, and scrape it over the board. It dulls the knife after a while, so prefer to use the back of the knife instead of the front of the knife. Use the back and shove it over to one side. Then take a plate and put it on the plate. For easier experiences, push it forward a little bit and take your hand. Put it aside for later. Rinse your hands and continue with the other onion if you don't have enough, or take another vegetable. We'll be continuing with julienne. The julienne is a very important way of cooking. Now first, you'll want to peel it. You've probably peeled like this for a long time, and I have as well. But I've found it to be a lot more efficient if you just do this. Set it on the ground, you have no fear of cutting yourself, and there shouldn't be any problems at all. For your information, the vegetables I'm using in this video have been washed before I started filming, just because washing is something basic that all the people know. Take the front part and cut it off. Take the back part and cut it off. They're not beautiful, but to make a bouillon, you can also use them as a soup or throw them away. Now, take the onion and be very cautious about this to cut it in half. It's very important that you do not slip, because if I would slip now, I'd cut myself, which has happened multiple times. Now, the way I learned to do julienne, well, to make it, is by putting it in this big ass machine, turn it to 2, which is here, and turn it on. You'll get these little leaves. If you don't have this, I would, well, strongly recommend trying to cut it as thin as possible with your knife. You have to reassemble the carrot, or whatever you're doing in julienne. Why? I'll show you later. And I'll give you some teaching about the julienne, why you would ever cut it so fine. Oh god. This can also happen. Turn off the machine, grab the piece of carrot, pull it out. I touched the blade right now. If it would have been running, it might have cut off a little bit of my finger. Now we don't want that, do we? Most of the time when it does that, it means that you're over and you can't really cut anymore, but I'll just try one more time. No, we're still going. It's not that pretty anymore, but as I like to say, use it for soup. Okay, now this is the end. It's broken. Take the carrot part in the back. Use it for soup. Well, bouillon more likely. Repeat that with the other carrot. Now, the julienne should always fit on a spoon. Like this? No. Like this? Yes. Like this, the piece of carrot won't go over the side of the spoon and it'll be easy to put on the spoon and eat it. After a while, you'll just learn to see this by heart. After having cut this, we'll then take them, assemble them finely, then cut them into tiny strips. Continue to do this. In the beginning it might be frustrating because it won't come out as beautiful as expected or as shown in the beginning. Repeat this process and I guarantee you will get better over time. Now, you also see with mine, it's not absolutely perfect, which doesn't make me happy, and I could not serve this to somebody. I would use it for soup, but like I tried with my earliers, I just put it in here. You may also see that I have tried quite a bit until I got some things right, and some things still go wrong. But after a while, slowly or fast, it'll get better. This is close, but I still have this chunk, which I'm not happy with. Although, by putting this chunk and this one maybe away, I could still serve it. Let's get up to our next point. Put your spare ingredients over, or use them for soup. We have had Brunoise and Julienne. Now we're coming to the personal way of how I learned to cut something. Already washed, cut off the front part and cut off the back part. This one very likely could also be used for soup, but let's just throw them away, shall we? Now, cut it in half. And the normal way is that you just chop it down now. I, however, have learned to cut it like this and cut this part away. Be extremely careful when doing this because you can cut your hand very easily. And when you're coming to the end, grab the other side. The soft part with the seeds in it can be used for soup or be thrown away or be used for something else. Although I don't think there are that many uses that I would use it in. So I'm just going to throw it away. Repeat this process with the other zucchini. And then turn it around and do this. First part isn't beautiful, so it's not okay to serve this to somebody, but for personal uses, it would be fine. My tip is that if you look straight from down, you'll see the card you already cut, and just form it like that. After a while, you will get faster, or you'll just get used to it. Last part also should be thrown away. Now looking at it, you'll see that it is almost completely flat, which is what we want. This is what it not should. Well, this is not what it should look like. You have uneven chunks. Some of them are straight cut, and some of them are huge. It's not good if you have a giant piece of zucchini, or if you have regular smaller ones. Now, with the carrot that I have here, you should repeat the same process and cut it down the length like this. Then cut out the inner part of it. Carrot is slightly sturdier than the zucchini, so you can apply a little bit more force. Still, be very cautious that you do not cut yourself. As I said earlier, knives can be very dangerous, and always are, but while using them, you shouldn't be afraid of them. cut it, first part to be thrown away, and then continue to cut. Now, for the last thing I show you, as you can see, these are pretty much the same. I want to show you how to cut correctly. I have seen this way too many times. Or this. Or this. You can cut your fingers like this pretty badly, especially if you have a very sharp knife. Shield them by using this front part, and unless you cut something like this, you should never have a knife this hard. Use and cut. Go back, and go back, go back, go back, and you'll do it very smartly. You will not cut yourself like this. It will work simultaneously after a while. It took me a lot of attempts to get this far. I hope this helped you, and see you next time.